Welcome, Greek U Nation, to episode number 194 of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. I am your host, Mike Ayalon, CEO of Greek University. I'm a speaker and a two-time author. Our second book just came out about a month ago. It's called From Letters to Leaders, Redefining New Member Education and Leveraging Belonging to Eliminate Hazing. So go and pick up that book today on Amazon. We call these episodes the Fraternity Foodie Podcast because there is nothing like great food to bring college students together. Fun fact, I have absolutely no musical ability whatsoever, but my daughter is making up for it in spades. She started with the clarinet in the band, and now she's moved on to the electric guitar and bass guitar. Watching her jam out to the greats like Eric Clapton, Prince, Eric Johnson, this has been truly a blessing for me. Her high school band recently finished the season as the 20th band in the country during the 2021 Bands of America Grand National Championships at Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. So to say that I'm a proud dad would be an understatement. Our next guest is Rich Redmond, but he isn't your typical pro speaker. He's a seasoned entertainer who uses his heart and talent to change lives for the better, upending the same old keynote formula to ignite, inspire, and motivate audiences in ways they and you never expected. As a professional drummer, he's based in Nashville and Los Angeles. Rich Redmond is a dynamic performer who tours and records with musical big shots. We're talking Jason Aldean, Garth Brooks, Ludacris, Kid Rock. He's played to packed stadiums all around the world. He's appeared on every late night show. He's written books and even acted in TV and the movies. What can we say? This is a man who loves an audience. Rich's true passion is rocking the house in a different way, taking the stage to share his strategic business chops, love for people, and distinctive crash philosophy for success with hungry audiences around the world. He walks his talk and it shows all the way to the back row. When you're ready for an energetic, uncommon, hits you where it counts headliner to reset your group's mindset towards growth and success, now it's time to get rich. Welcome to the show, Rich Redmond.
What's up, Michael? How are you? Thanks for having me.
Hey, man, it's a pleasure. I've been looking forward to this for weeks, man. Ever since I met you, I said, this is the guy that we need to get on the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Finally, I got somebody that the college students are going to rally behind and then just bring you to college campuses all across the country. What do you say?
I'm up for it, man. I spent a lot of time on college campuses, man.
It's a lot of fun, I tell you. It definitely keeps you young, that's for sure.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Let's talk about it. Let's talk about your background a little bit. I know you decided on Texas Tech and you got your bachelor's degree in music education. So I'm wondering, why was Texas Tech the right place for you?
Well, it's a great question. You know, I started playing drums in 1976. I tell everybody, you know, dinosaurs roamed the earth and I had to dodge T-Rexes to get to my little angry T-Rex to get to my drum lessons. But that was my passion. Little did I know, I found my purpose in life. And I joined the 5th grade band, you know, like your daughter, you know, as a band guy. And it was such a great experience. And I grew with it. I knew I wanted to make music my life. So my parents, an accountant and a nurse, very hardworking folks, they're like, hey, you're going to college. They didn't even give me like a choice. They're like, you're doing this. These next 4 years of your life are going to determine the trajectory of your life. So I went to this Texas Tech band camp one summer at band camp. And I met this gentleman named Alan Shin. Alan Shin became my professor and my mentor. We just lost him, God rest his soul, to cancer. But he was just made such a huge difference in my life. But like most things in life, it comes down to people. People are your equity in life, you know? And I just knew that I could go to like a bigger, more established, more iconic, famous university. But I knew that if I studied with Alan Shin, that every day I would have so much experience. So for 4.5 years, I was in the marching band, the symphonic band, the percussion ensemble, the steel, the drum ensemble, the jazz ensemble. Like I just played and played and played. And so it was easy to get like 10,000 hours experience. I mean, I probably have tens of thousands of experience. And so that's what Texas Tech gave me. It gave me an opportunity to put my life on hold for 4 years, hyper focus on something, have a vision, have that laser focus, and then come out and hopefully not with too many bills. You know, I know kids go into debt big time these days for college. My parents said, look, you get straight A's, we'll cover the bills. So that was a real gift.
Yeah, see, there's no doubt that this is the reason why you have longevity in your career is because of your commitment at Texas Tech and doing things the right way and setting up your whole career based on that foundation. And then later you got your Master of Education from the University of North Texas. And I think this allowed you to have a healthy career as a staple drummer in the Dallas-Fort Worth music scene. So talk to us a little bit about that music scene. Why was that time so important to your career?
Yeah, well, I mean, that was, you know, University of North Texas. It was the first school to have a degree in jazz, which I kind of like joked. People, I said, it's like getting a degree in philosophy, really. It's like, but it was so awesome because UNT is iconic. And it was kind of like my finishing school. Anything that I didn't pick up or have knowledge or experience wise at Texas Tech, I got it at UNT. Plus, it was so competitive. It was a true reflection of the real world music business because there's this thing called the 1 O'Clock Lab Band. It's like the most famous college jazz band in the world. And you tour and you record. It's like a professional group. And there's 100 guys trying to get into that group. So it's like incredibly competitive. And then the Dallas-Fort Worth music scene is so close. You know, it's like 30 minutes away. So I was able to play in like R&B horn bands and like do jingles and play fusion music and just mega church gigs. So it really was my finishing school, really healthy music scene. But most musicians will tell you that there is a ceiling on cities like a Dallas or an Austin or a Miami. You really got to go to New York, LA, or Nashville. There's really 3 places to take your career to the next level in the musical arts. So, you know, after my master's degree, kicked around Dallas for a little bit, tried to save a little bit money, packed up my truck, my one set of drums. I had a little black cat named Cha-Cha, and we moved to Nashville. And I started crashing parties and shaking hands and putting my business cards in coffee shops and trying to connect with people. And there's that people thing again. It always comes down to people. People are your equity in life, and they're the gatekeepers that you have to make friends with somehow.
Yeah, you're certainly in the right place in Nashville. There's no question about that. And I mean,
Yeah.
you got to talk about some of the star power that you've been around. I mean, since then, you've recorded 28 #1 radio hits, plays to millions of fans per year in iconic venues across the globe. I mean, you've worked with artists like Kelly Clarkson, Ludacris, Bryan Adams, Bob Seger, Chris Cornell, Miranda Lambert, Eric Church, Keith Urban, Luke Bryan, so many more. And you've also been featured on Saturday Night Live, The Voice, American Idol, the Grammy Awards, The Tonight Show with Leno, O'Brien, and Fallon, The Today Show with Conan O'Brien, Jimmy Kimmel, Good Morning America, Ellen. I mean, you name it, the People's Choice Awards. I mean, you must have a favorite moment when you knew that you officially made it. When was that moment for you?
Well, you know, I don't think you ever make it. And if you have that mindset, you'll continue to grow. You'll never let moss grow on you. You'll always be trying to keep up with the Joneses, exceed expectations, grow as a person, personally and professionally. But I do remember a time I was living with the guys in my band. I mean, we lived together for an inappropriate length of time into our 30s until we bought our houses. And we were in this band called Rushlow before Jason Aldean. We had 2 soft hits, but the first time we heard ourselves on the radio, 3 grown men were in a puddle of tears because it was our dreams in life coming to fruition. So that was a really special moment. And then you have these pinch me moments like playing Madison Square Garden or the Hollywood Bowl, selling out 3 nights at Fenway. We sold out of beer. We're the first band in the history of playing Fenway Park where there was no beer. They're like, no, I want a Coors Light. No, we have no Coors Light. I want a Sam. No, there's nothing. So if that tells you something about our fans, they're ravenous. And just that cool thing of like, the third one would be maybe playing Saturday Night Live. And the credits are rolling and you're on stage. This is pre-COVID. You're mingling with all the actors. You're hugging everyone. The confetti is dropping. Lenny's playing the saxophone solo. And every hair on my arm is standing up because I watched that show year after year after year as a young man and going, I want to do that, whether as a drummer or an actor. I want to be on that stage. And when you do it, tears fall, tears of happiness, all these crazy mixed emotions. But, you know, I was able to realize a lot of the goals and dreams of my childhood. It's a really powerful thing.
Yeah, man, I love that you share all of those stories because I mean, literally, the hair on the back of my neck stands up when you start talking about hearing your own song on the radio or playing at the Garden or on Saturday Night Live. I mean, you just took
Yeah.
us right there, and I felt it with you because,
Oh,
man, that's a lot of fun. I mean, that's just huge. You've also been speaking since 2005, and you've been teaching this crash philosophy. So, how did you create this philosophy, and why do you think it's so needed today on college campuses?
sure. Yeah. You know, like a lot of things, there's a flash of inspiration. Maybe we wake up in a cold sweat and we got to write something down. Like this thing was formalized in or formulated in 1 hour, and a lot of great things that can change the trajectory of your life happen quickly like that. So I wrote this stuff down. I'm like, this is great because people like acronyms. It's easy to remember. When I do drum events or speak at colleges, like I'll say, like, look, this is my gift to you. You could take this with you, and maybe 10 years from now, you'll write this thing down, you laminate it, you put it in your back pocket, you put it on your refrigerator, you put it in your rear view mirror. Maybe in 10 years, you'll go like, really, I put that into action, man. That Redmond guy was on to something. But CRASH is so easy to remember. It stands for commitment, relationships, attitude, skill, and hunger. So 5 things that literally anyone in any season of their life and any career path at any age can use to enjoy more success. We all want to be successful in their personal and professional life. So committing to something. So if you're a business person, committing to your product, committing to your customer, the customer is always right. If you're a college student, committing to that major, committing to that trajectory, 4 years, I'm going to get this piece of paper, I'm going to pull the tassel, I'm going to throw the hat. So committing to something and then cultivating sincere, hopefully mutually beneficial lifelong relationships and realizing that attitude is such important. It's a big part of life. I like to live in the land of unicorns and rainbows. Attitude is everything. Enthusiasm is contagious. People want to be around positive people. And you know what? It takes actually more energy to cultivate and maintain negative thoughts. So I don't even know why people do that. Like, so there's no molasses swamp in my world. I just go where the rainbows and the unicorns are. And then realizing that skill, you have to develop the skills needed to be successful in your chosen field and then never be the fat Elvis. You want to continue growing and evolving your business, enhancing your skill set. And then hunger, maybe the most important piece. It's that lack of something, that desire to have something that's going to fuel the rest of the CRASH philosophy, and realizing that passion is your engine and hard work is your fuel. And if you choose something that you love, it's never going to be hard work. You'll never work a day in your life. I get up every day with a smile on my face because I know I'm going to get behind a set of drums. I'm going to use my God-given talents that I cultivated. He gave me this gift of raw talent. I cultivated it, and then I get to make a difference in people's lives by providing entertainment to them and helping them escape from. So that's CRASH, and you can use each part of it and still see results, or you can use them synergistically, and that's when things get really powerful, when you use it all together.
Man, that is really powerful. And I love every piece of that. Let's talk about each one individually because, I don't want
Sure,
to miss
yeah.
any of this here. I mean, the C stands for commitment, right? So I want to know, and you know all about commitment because you've been doing this for a lifetime now. How do you stay focused on yourself? How do you stay focused on your field and your potential customers or clients? How do you do that?
Yeah. Well, just realizing that, rolling up your sleeves with a smile on your face every day and putting in the work is going to yield the results. And look at something like just like fitness. Like I've always kind of been into fitness. I'll go through periods where like 6 miles a day, man, without fail. Or I'll go like, I'm like an Orange Theory guy, or I try Barry's boot camp. And you can spend all this money on these expensive programs. Say you only do it 1 day a week. You're not going to get the results of just going out for a jog 20 minutes a day, every day. It's that compound effect of showing up every day, committing to something and following through. So when you roll up your sleeves and get dirty, get your hands dirty every single day, you're going to see the results of consistency. And do things like write down your goals, hopes, and your dreams. And they could be in increments like today, this week, this month. This is when I want to do this by the end of this year. This is my 5-year plan. This is my 10-year plan. And write that stuff down, because it's just floating around in the matrix, in the ether, until you get a pen, not on your iPhone, you get a pen. Maybe you get like some squid ink, man, and you scribe it out. This is what I want to accomplish. and you put it in places that you're going to see every day. You read it before you go to bed. You read it first thing in the morning, because that's when the mind is so powerful at night. When we're sleeping, man, it is working. So it's great to fill your mind with positive affirmations and your goals, the things that you're committing to right before bed and right when you get up.
I love that. I think that's really helpful for college students. I think it's helpful for student organizations to start planning what their goals are as an organization. You could write that stuff down on the mirrors in the bathrooms, at your fraternity house, your sorority house, whatever. But I think seeing that every single day, writing it down, like you said, not on your iPhone, but actually writing it and looking at it every single day will help you to actualize that dream. But so many times we don't think about it. We don't think about what our goals are. We don't write it down. And then there's just no accountability. There's nothing to go back to say that, hey, this is something that I was dreaming about. If you're dreaming about something, write it down and start figuring out what are the tactical strategies I need to implement today in order to make that a reality 6 months from now or a year from now, whatever that is. So I really like that. And the R is for relationships. I think this is so, so important. I mean, the people that are around you on a college campus, these are the people that are going to be your contacts, your network, no matter what it is that you want to do later in life. So you need to know the other students around you. They're probably going to be successful and they might be able to help you down the road. So how can college students develop relationships while they're still in school?
Oh yeah, well that is so important. When I speak to like younger kids, like K through 6, I'll do like a school assembly and the giant cafetorium, and I'll talk about like, hey, what do you want to do with your life, kid? And he's like, I said, well, what do you like? Video games. You can design video games. What do you like? Oh, I like football. I said, you could be a professional, but you better get on it because there's a short shelf life. I like dancer. Okay, so I tell these kids they can do it anything that they want to do, but people, I said, you might be sitting next to your future ex-wife or ex-husband. And the kindergartners, I start laughing because they haven't even started to like boys or girls yet. But people are everything. Like you have to of course have a resume and a nice business card and a website, but it's that handshake, it's that personal thing, it's connecting with people, finding common ground, people championing me, going, Richie's gonna show up, he's gonna be well dressed, his drums are gonna sound good, he's gonna know the songs better than you, he's gonna exceed your expectations. Doing that consistently as a business model, people are going to talk. So I've never gotten a job from monster.com. I've barely ever gotten a job from an audition. It's about people, personal relationships. And, when I was at North Texas playing in all these bands and stuff, all these guys went on to become world-class educators and authors. And I mean, half the 1 O'Clock Lab band I play with went on to play with the Airmen of Note, which is the Air Force jazz band. And one day I got asked to sit in with them and I looked around, I was like, I know all you guys. Is this where you've been for the last 20 years, And so it's good to balance. It's really good, like, because I was so hyper-focused about getting the skill set in college, practicing 10 hours a day, that you have to look up. And nowadays, everyone's got their phone in their hand, right? So you got to get off the phone. You got to look up. You got to smell the fresh air and the fresh cut grass and look at that attractive girl walking across campus. Go talk to her. And go create these lifelong relationships because they will be mutually beneficial. You guys can champion each other and create great things for the rest of your life.
But they got to be real relationships, right? I mean, I got 15,000 followers on TikTok, but I mean, I don't know, almost all of them. So the reality is it's got to be real relationships, people that you know in person and you've developed a real bond with. I mean, if you want to pass leads online back and forth through social media, nothing wrong with that, but you have to have the established relationship first. And that takes time too. You can't microwave relationships, right? It takes time. You have to nurture them. You got to, really work on them over time if you want them to bring fruit later on. So relationships are just key. I completely agree with you. All the best jobs that I've ever received is all through relationships.
Yeah, the band that I play in, I mean, we finish each other's sentences. There's this unspoken language, man, like Aquaman and the Fish. Like, we don't have to say anything because there's so much time under the bridge, so much history of us finishing each other's sentences, traveling the world, smelling diesel fuel, eating sweaty cheese backstage, going out and playing for the masses. These are my best friends, and we've been playing in a band together for 24 years. And that came from finding common ground with these guys, championing each other, and we were able to build something together.
Right. I totally get it. Now, the A stands for attitude. This makes all the difference in who I hire on my team for sure. I like being around people who are generally positive, have a bright outlook on life, just like you with the rainbows and unicorns. I totally get that. I want to be around positive people. I mean, I think most people want to be like that. So, how do you maintain this positive attitude that you have when times are really tough?
Well, you can use some like hacks. You can have like a positive music playlist on Spotify that you can like be listening to. You can exercise to it. Exercise is an incredible thing to do it, and it releases endorphins, and you walk a foot taller. Even if you just go exercise for like 10 minutes, you're working your heart. And you can surround yourself with birds of a feather, like-minded individuals where you have a commonality. You can spend time with them. I have my favorite friends that were barstool philosophers. We'll sit and we'll have a nice glass of California Pinot, and we'll talk about and solve all the world's problems. And then you could listen to, like I said, read positive literature, happy music, great movies. Like I like Rocky. I mean, he's hitting the meat. He's doing the one-arm push-ups. He's got the dog running. I love this stuff. Or even like a movie that's kind of dark, like Alien, Ridley Scott. I think it's such a work of art. It never gets old. If it comes on the TV, I have to put my whole life on. I'm watching the whole thing. So these are some cool hacks to reset the channel. So surrounding yourself with like-minded people, and then getting some exercise, eating some colorful food, and then positive music, literature, and film. And it's not always easy. I mean, when I first moved to Nashville, there were some dark times. I was waiting tables. I was eating ramen noodle. I was parking cars. I was substitute teaching and then playing the nightclubs every night. And I was like, what's wrong with me? And I was like, what, with the spoon and the Haagen-Dazs, but you just have to persist. It starts with that commitment. Then I started to meet people. And as soon as I met my birds of a feather, my whole life changed.
Yeah, surround yourself with good people. I think we need to do an inventory of the people that are surrounding us on a regular basis and figure out, are they adding to your life or are they subtracting from your life? And even the most motivated people in the world, they have motivators. So you look at the Michael Jordans of the world, you look at, the Mike Tysons of the world, you look at the Tiger Woods, they all had people that motivated them. So they had their coaches and other people. So even the motivators need motivation. So make sure you're surrounding yourself with positive people that are going to energize you, that are going to make you step up your game. And if you're around the wrong people, I'm telling you, it is not going to go well for you. It's time to find a new group of people to get you to that next level. So hopefully it's helpful. Now, the S is the skills. I've always been a lifetime learner. I went back to get my master's degree very late in life. So how do you suggest that people continue to build their skills after graduation?
Yeah, you got to keep up with those Joneses, man, those pesky Joneses. It's just lifelong learning. They call it continuing education for the adults that want to go, okay, I'm going to learn Pro Tools, or I'm going to learn how to draw. And I respect all that. For me, yeah, I'm a motivator, but I need to be motivated. So I've got acting coaches in 2 cities. I have a hosting coach. I have a speaking coach. I take drum lessons with folks. I'm always on YouTube trying to push, the barriers down and learn new things. So that continuing education is so important. So, you don't become the fat Elvis. You want to be really, really, really pushing things forward and exceeding expectations. So, I love developing new skills. So for me personally, I could have just said, all right, I realized my childhood dreams. I'm riding a tour bus. I'm collecting a check. I'm playing drums every day of my life. Someone's setting up my drums for me 3 square meals a day. Man, I can't go wrong with this. But there's that desire. I was watching episodes of Three's Company my entire life, and I was like, I want to be the guy that comes in and interacts with Jack Tripper. I'm going to try acting. I'm going to try speaking. I'm going to author a book. I'm going to develop musical products. I'm going to consult. And it's just great because all of that is centered around education and entertainment. So I'm in the edutainment field. So I looked at some skill sets that I had that I wasn't really using, and I put them to work in different areas of the educational and entertainment world. And now I have all these different revenue streams, which is great because, as we know, you can lose 2 or 3 of them. So if you have another 2 or 3 going at all times, you're going to be okay. You're going to keep a roof over your head.
Very good strategy. The last one is H. That's the hunger. And it's also the motivation for me. I think that's the biggest difference that I see between those who are mega successful and those who just aren't. So is the hunger or the motivation, is that really something that you can teach?
Well, you could remind people of how important it is, and maybe they need to start there. What do they want? It's like, the old Twisted Sister, what do you want to do with your life? And then the kid's like, ah. And so figuring out what you want to do, what you are lacking, what you want to gain, and having a hunger for that, having that fire that burns in your belly to be successful and to attain that. I mean, I was obsessed. I think that people that want to accomplish great things in life, you have to become obsessed. Like and it might not even be healthy. For those 4 years in college, I was obsessed. Be the best, get the grades, get the skill set, focus. Who needs sleep? Sleep when you die, right? And then as we get older, I started to get some more balance in my life, but I knew exactly what I wanted. I had a fire that burned in my belly to get it. So I would seek out people and places and circumstances and opportunities to get me closer to that goal.
Yeah, see, that's it for me. It's the motivation. I mean, I went to a state school. I went to the University of Buffalo in New York. I mean, it's not an Ivy League school, but the motivation, that hunger, that is inside me. Like, I'm always trying to improve my skills, always trying to grow the companies and to connect more with my customers. And it's just inside me. Nobody tells me I need to get up and talk to my customers every single day. I do it because I care. I do it because I want the best for the college students and the fraternity and sorority system. No one's telling me to do it. I'm the CEO of the company. Like, no one's going to say a word to me. I do it because it's this hunger, this passion, this fire that's inside of me. And I hope that all the listeners start to develop that, whatever that is inside of you. That's got to be developed if you ever want to reach kind of the same heights that we're talking about in whatever field it is that you choose. You got to have that passion, you got to have that hunger. I mean, that's really what separates the winners from those who just don't make it. So keep those things in mind. Now, we do love good food here at the Fraternity Foodie Podcast, and I live in Franklin, right next door to you in Brentwood. So I make my way to Brentwood all the time. I mean, the good restaurants are in Brentwood. I mean, let's just be real with each other for a moment. So what is your favorite restaurant in town so I can go hit that up tonight?
I'm gonna give you Nashville is so popular. It has become the new it city that I'll just give you a couple of hacks for the listeners who are going to make the trip, and you will make the trip. Midtown Cafe is a family-owned restaurant down there in Midtown. Love it. The best martinis. It's the best place for a power lunch or a power breakfast. Not COVID friendly. It's really tiny, so I haven't been in a while, so I totally miss it. Best drink in town, the Red Door Saloon. And then you go to West End Avenue, and then there's Brick Tops. Now, Brick Tops is kind of corporate, but wow, they do everything. You can get the most amazing sushi, the most amazing chicken piccata, the most amazing steak, and it's a great environment. Oh, the bread, woo! If you guys are off of bread, don't go there. But treat yourself. And then over in your area of town, I like that Pete Sushi over there by the Nordstrom Rack. That's always really, really good. Yes. But I think overall, Brick Tops is great because you can take your mom there, to catch up with her. You could take a date there. It's just a good spot.
Those are great spots. Peter Sushi and Thai is absolutely delicious. Very, very good. He's got, all the celebrities that come and visit him for sushi and Thai food up on the wall. So that's pretty cool. And some really, really great food, but it's always packed every time I go there. So
I know.
So it is what it is. Sometimes you got to wait for good food. So this has been a lot of fun, Rich. I've loved every minute of this. If the student listeners, if they want to bring you to their campus as a speaker, what is the best way? Where should they go to connect with you?
Easy to find. I guess my with richredmond.com. There it is behind me. If you guys are watching, if you're listening, it's Rich Redmond, REDMOND.com. And you could see who I've spoken for. You can see some video of me speaking and all that kind of fun stuff. And I think that's a good hub. And I'm very active on social media. All the kids are on Instagram. So on all the socials, it's just at Rich Redmond.
I love it. At Rich Redmond, or go to richredmond.com and bring Rich to your campus. A great guy, a lot of fun. I absolutely have enjoyed this particular interview, every minute of it. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this talk with Rich, please make sure that you like it. Please make sure that you share it with other college students on your campus. And we hope to see you on another episode of the Fraternity Foodie Podcast. Thanks so much, Rich, and we'll see you next time.
Hey, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
You got it. See ya.